What's up, everybody? Another Glenn in the Gang video here with your boy Big Jack and your guy Glenn. We're gonna do a little Bears recap, a little Bears look forward to the game versus Vikings, and just general Bears thoughts. So, Jack, you can get us started on last week.
Yeah, so the Texans game, obviously the Bears dominated top to bottom. It was a absolute stomping. Quite the party all over Chicago, I'm sure. Um, we talked about it. We both kind of leaned towards thinking that the Texans were going to find a way to win the game. Couldn't have been further from the truth. It was great. Mitch played well. The defense, that was the one thing we did mention. We thought the defense would kind of have a bounce back performance after how bad they played the week prior. But Mitch played well, and they got it done in a very easy manner. I think the whole narrative about, oh, look, Mitch, Deshaun Watson's a nobody is tough. I mean, Deshaun Watson plays in the AFC South. Like, we're gonna play him once every 3 or 4 years, maybe. So it's not like, that Deshaun Watson Mitch matchup something that really matters. I think Deshaun's done plenty to prove that he's a much better player than Mitch, in my opinion. Um, you know, and let's be realistic. The Bears were playing against a defense who, if I'm not mistaken, is second worst in the entire league. The Houston was playing against a defense that is still top 10 in the league. I think number 7, maybe 8, but I want to say 7 in overall defense. And was missing just about anyone that their offense, that you could recognize their name. So it was a great win, keeps the playoff hopes alive. It's an interesting situation. I want the Bears to make the playoffs. I just fear that means they keep some people around. Best case scenario would be make the playoffs, see what happens, but still kind of realize this ain't going anywhere long term as far as a contender goes, and just clean house anyway. But yeah, it was a good win, good day to be a Bears fan. They killed them. No other way around it.
Yeah, I mean, I mirror your thoughts pretty much across the board. I obviously, if the Bears can make the playoffs, I want them in the playoffs. Do I think anything's going to happen out of it? No. Do I even think they're going to make the playoffs? I don't, but we'll see. Last week, it was awesome to watch. We talked about how the week before with the Lions game, it sucked in real time, but at the same time, it was probably the best thing that could happen for him. Better draft pick, closer to maybe getting Nagy out, Pace out, whatever. This week, I go in with the mindset that I just want them to fucking lose, and they take it to the Texans, and I loved every second of it. I couldn't get enough of it. That's the catch-22 when you're in a spot like this. But yeah, you said it exactly right. They beat a bad team that's in a bad spot, with some key guys out, and yeah, I mean it was a fun watch. I love watching the Bears win, but I don't know how much that says about the team. Couple things I did really like though. Cole Kmet is looking like a legitimate NFL tight end. I said it from the get go that you're not going to get George Kittle or Travis Kelce from Cole Kmet, but I think you can get Kyle Rudolph, and I think if you get Kyle Rudolph, you're happy with the pick. So I thought he looked good last week. Four catches, 41 yards. He started to get more involved. He had 7 targets. Jimmy Graham still getting 4 catches, 23 yards and a touchdown. Allen Robinson, 13 targets, 9 catches, 123 yards, touchdown. Montgomery, 155 yards all ways on only 14 touches. Mitch, 267 yards, 3 touchdowns. Made Deshaun Watson look terrible in comparison. But yeah, that was just, like you said, it doesn't tell you a ton about the team, but it was fun to watch.
Yeah. My one comment about just the hilarity of the Bears is that your stat you just threw out about Montgomery, man. That first carry is like an
Yeah,
80-yard touchdown, and those were still his numbers. He only touched the ball like 12 more times in
yeah,
a 30-point win or whatever.
it's crazy because yeah, exactly. He's got 14 touches total after breaking out an 80-yarder, looking like the best player on offense the last couple of weeks outside of maybe Allen Robinson. Even though Allen Robinson started getting on my nerves, but that's a different story. He could still play really well. Montgomery's looking like probably the second best player on offense right now. And this coaching staff, we're playing with a lead. We got Trubisky back there who has proven he can turn the ball over anytime. You got a lead like that, pound the fucking rock. Montgomery's looking great. That's a game where Montgomery should have no less than 20 carries, and he gets 11. Like, what? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, something's still up with the whole Nagy Lazar dynamic, even though he's publicly they're saying he's calling the plays, but I don't know if you heard that soundbite this week when they asked him about the play calling, and he was literally like, eh, and then paused for like 10 seconds before he was like, we work on it as a staff, and I think we're making progress. Like, we're starting to figure it out. Like, dude, it's week 15. You're starting to figure it out. Come on, man.
Well, it's week 15 in his third year of fucking coaching. The Bears, like, this needs to be figured out already. If it was week 8 of year 1, okay, but I don't know. All right, looking forward to this week. They play the Vikings. In the prior video is one of my 3 best bets. Bears 3-point dogs against the Vikings. Last time they played back a couple weeks ago, Vikings win 19-13. Nick Foles was the starter, played absolutely dog shit. He was 15 for 26 with 106 yards and an interception. Montgomery was out. I think Cordero Patterson had like 40 yards running or something like that. It was one of those games where the offense was so freaking bad. I think people were probably tweeting like, if I'm on the Bears defense, I'm literally fighting the offense. Like, it's such an embarrassing offensive performance. The Vikings, last time we played, Justin Jefferson went off, had 135 yards. Adam Thielen had two touchdowns. I feel like this is a game that the Bears win. We start getting a little excited about potentially playoffs. Potentially they're figuring this shit out. And then a couple weeks later, we just lose to the Packers. And then everything's just over.
Yeah, it'd be nothing more like the Bears than to go out and win this one and then lose to Jacksonville after Christmas. But no, yeah, I like where your head's at. I think the Bears have the past couple years a good matchup against the Vikings for one reason or another. I think it's mostly predicated on the fact that our defense really zones in on shutting down that run game as good as Dalvin Cook is. We do a decent job of stopping them, holding them down, and kind of forcing the ball into the quarterback's hands. And our pass rush sort of gets after them. They kind of make some mistakes, and we come out with W's. The only thing I don't love about that this year is we're not really turning the ball over like the Bears have in years past. So I don't know the exact number, but I think we only have like 15 turnovers maybe, which is not good. But I think I also hold Kirk Cousins in a higher regard than probably 90% of people. I think he's a pretty good quarterback. I know there's plenty of arguments out there and plenty of valid points. There's no reason to spend time talking about Kirk Cousins hot or not, but I think he's a good quarterback, and I don't know if putting the ball in his hands is going to bode that well for them. It's a huge game for the Vikings too. The whole home field thing is kind of weird with COVID. Obviously, there's not going to be fans or anything like that, but I still think them at home in the same position as the Bears fighting for that 7th playoff spot. I don't love the Bears to cover or win by any means as much as you seem to, but I sure as hell hope they do.
Yeah, no, you're right. They're in the same exact spot in terms of record and in playoff spot, playoff bid. So they're going to be fighting for it too. I think the Bears win. I don't think it's an easy win. I think they win by at least 3. If I had to give a prediction on the game, I'm going to say defense shows up. We give up 17. We score 23. So 23-17 Bears is my pick. I don't know if you got any kind of feeling on it. I know you said you don't really love the Bears this week, but
yeah, no, I could see them taking a little bit of a step back. I hope not. I mean, I think Mitch is playing so much better, and in the sense of I think he's just loose. He knows that. I mean, technically something could change, but he knows he's not coming back.
Right.
And he's sort of playing to show the league that he's worth at least a look as a backup spot or something like that in the future. He's still young, got a lot of room to grow. I mean, he was so unpolished when the Bears drafted him. He had, what, 13 starts in college. So, like, he's still just getting his feet under him. And, he could grow, of course, but I think he realizes he's not coming back here anyway. So he's playing a lot more free. He could have another good game, but I'm thinking more like Vikings win 27-17 type game.
All right. Well, we'll do this same time next week and talk about how it went. Talk about the preview for the Jags game. So that might be a puke-worthy game, but all right.
Could be a huge playoff game, though, baby.
Yeah, true. All right, go Bears, bear down. Thanks everybody for watching.
Bears.
Like, subscribe, comment. Peace.